Hi, welcome back to Knitting with Annie. I'm Annie Lupton of Boho Chic Fiber Co. Thanks for joining in for our next episode today. I wanted to start my day off kind of slow. It's been rainy the past few days and I've been just like extra tired. I'm doing a challenge with Peloton right now, and so it's like 3 kind of longer workouts a week in addition to kind of like the normal ones that I do, and so I've just been more tired lately. It's good, it's just a lot. So so normally I will get up early and exercise before I bring the kids to camp or do some kind of work in the morning, but I didn't do anything today. I just had some coffee, I dropped them off, and now I'm back, and I wanted to ease into my day with doing this video because it seemed a little less daunting than some of my other work. So I'm glad to be here. And after this, I will hop off, and I'm gonna release a new pattern today and get into work. So thank you for joining me today. And I have a few questions to answer, and I was going to share a little bit about a new pattern and a few other things. So I'm just going to dive right into the question. Oh, hold on one second. My dog's getting into something. Leave it. Sorry, way to start it off right. Her one thing, she's pretty good. She doesn't like chew up too much or ruin anything, but her one thing is toilet paper for some reason. And like paper towels, that sort of thing. She loves like shredding. She'll shred things up for fun. We'll let her like shred up a box, but she doesn't eat it and she's fine, and we just like throw it away after. But for some reason with toilet paper, she like eats it, and that's not okay. She can't eat it. So sorry about that. Okay, anyway, that's our dog Taza. She's almost a year old now. We got her last October. She's a golden retriever. She's just great. She's a kind of a pain in some ways, but overall she's just a wonderful dog. Love Goldens. So yeah. Okay, so back to questions. Hopefully she won't see, she's got something cardboard now, but she won't eat that, so it's fine. Okay, to questions. So the first question I found that someone sent in was, do I listen to podcasts when I work, and what would I recommend? I don't so much anymore. For a while, I was listening, like a few years ago, I was listening to podcasts all the time. I really liked the Brene Brown one. Occasionally I'll listen to that again. I liked the Goop one for a while with Gwyneth Paltrow. There was one on cults that I was really into for a while. I have this weird thing with cults. I know, like, I find it fascinating. I studied sociology in college. So the sociology and the psychology of cults is like really interesting to me. So that was a good one too that I'd recommend. I think it was just called Cults. And I listened to the Knit Collage one for a while. I really loved Woolful when that was being done. But lately I haven't really been listening to them. I've been listening more books on, like audiobooks. And for a while I used Audible like a few years ago, but I stopped doing that because I wasn't listening to it as frequently. And now what I do is I use the Libby app. And if I just found out about this year, if you have a library card, you can link up your library account. It's called Libby app. Just look it up, download it, and you just you link up your library account to it, and then you can listen to audiobooks on there for free. You can rent books to read as well, but I don't like to read books from my phone. But it's not, you can't find like every single book, where in Audible you can just buy whatever book you want. It's not like quite as easy. Like you'll look through and maybe there'll be some books available and some books that just you either have to wait on for like a few weeks or they just don't have it. And so, but there's enough on there. At least I found there's enough that I can find something to listen to, and I have to, if I have to wait a few weeks, like I just have a few that are in hold and I'm waiting on and listen to something else while I wait. I do it a little bit when I knit, and sometimes I'll watch stuff, sometimes I'll listen. I use it a lot when I walk the dog. I'll walk her. I usually try to give her like at least a half an hour walk every day. Sometimes it's less, but when I do my loop with her, I'll listen, and it's kind of nice to work my way through a book that way. Yeah, so I definitely recommend the Libby app if you're looking to listen to something. And she's gonna be a pain today, I can tell, sorry. Okay, so the next question, oh, and I forgot to get the magazines out, so I'll do that now. Taz, leave it. Let's get the whole bin out. So the next question I had was about submitting to magazines, and if I suggest it for designers, my thoughts on like submitting and being in magazines. And I have been in several publications. Basically, I think it depends on, there's pros and cons. So if you're new to designing, I think it's definitely worth it. Even if you've been designing for a while, I think it's worth it. It just depends. So yeah, some of the pros that I would say are you get a payment. It's either upfront, sometimes it's when it releases, but it's a set amount. So they might say, you know, X hundred amount of dollars for a sweater design or for a shawl or whatever. They usually have a set amount that you agree on before you agree to do it. And sometimes it's, you know, there's a range. It depends on the publication. Some publications really give a lot to designers, and others, it's, you know, not quite as much. So, you know, but if you're new, sorry, I'm just seeing what she's chewing. It's just wood, it's fine. If you are new to designing and you know you're finding it harder to make money off of patterns and get your name out there, it can be really good. I did it more when I was new to designing, and then at a point it kind of gets, you have to weigh the option of, am I going to make more releasing it on my own or with the publication? And sometimes it just depends. Every pattern's different, so you never really know what you're gonna, how well it's gonna do. So that will factor in. And sometimes you just really like a publication and want to be in it, and it's exciting to like see your stuff in print. And so even if you could make more on your own, it still might be worth it to you and fun to do every once in a while in a publication. Other pros are that the magazine will take care of the publication, all the tech editing. You usually don't have to pay for it on your own. They'll do that. They take care of the photography, and they usually do a really good job with photography and the styling. Yeah, and the other thing is, especially when you're new, it can kind of give you a feeling of like being more credible as a designer. I remember when I was starting, it made me feel, I think I just felt a little more professional to say, yeah, I'm in this magazine. You know, do you need to do it to be credible? No, plenty of people make a ton of money and do really well not in publications. But if it's something you're interested in, like definitely submit and give it a try. Some of the cons, I guess, would be, you know, like I said, you could make more money on your own, possibly, on a pattern release. The other thing is, what I find is why I do it a little bit less now. I feel like I have less creative freedom. Usually they want you to submit like a design, like a specific design that you want to do, and you'll put swatches and you'll show them exactly what you want to do. And that's usually fine, but sometimes I feel like when I'm doing something in a pattern, I want to change maybe a neckline, or I want to change like the sleeve length or the length of the body or something, or I'll find a stitch pattern I am not as enjoying as much as I thought I would. And so you can't really make those changes as easily, and I just find that a little stressful. Like, I want to be in control of it, and sometimes it stresses me out to think like, are they gonna like it? You know, like usually when I release a pattern, it's something that I enjoy, and I'm not too worried, because the worst case is nobody else likes it and they don't buy it. But when you're working for somebody else, you have that added pressure of like, oh, like I hope they like it. I hope it meets their standards, which to me is a little stressful. To other people, it might be like very motivating. So it just depends on you. Yeah. And the other thing, like, could be a timeline. If you find timelines motivating, that could be great. If you find them really stressful to stick to a certain timeline, then that might stress you out as well. So it just depends. I do them a little bit here and there. I really loved working with Taproot. I've worked with them a few times now, and I'd love to again in the future. I save all my publications. So I think I have 4 here. So I've done 4, I think, maybe more. Maybe I just don't have the magazines with me. Taproot treats their designers really, really well. The other thing I want to mention is sometimes magazines will revert the rights of the pattern back to you after, 6 months, 10 months, whatever their timeline is. So for that first period of time, they own the rights and only they can make money off the pattern. And then after that period of time, you're able to re-release it in Ravelry and your website, and then you can then make a little bit more money off of it that way, which is really nice. Some of the older publications, they want to own it straight out, and they always own the rights to it. So they might they'll give you a set fee, and then basically it's like buy to the design. They have it going forward. So I have some other ones here I've designed for. I've designed in interweave knits and knitwear. Some of these are not things. My first design ever was in Rib magazine. It was this design right here on the front, the Navigate pullover. I'm not sure that they continued the magazine. They had several issues, but I'm not sure if they do it anymore. They may. You'd have to look it up, sorry. But it was great. It was for all menswear, which I really liked. Really unique that way. Another interweave knits. I've done a few with interweave knits. They're pretty good to work with. Just a different kind of model. But yeah, I enjoyed it while I did it. I do it, like I said, I do it less now. Every once in a while I'll do one just to kind of keep my feet in. But I don't do it as much because I find it just kind of stresses me out more. And I just enjoy being able to work on my own schedule and not having to be beholden to anyone. But yeah. The next question I had was someone asked about avoiding a jog in stripes when you're knitting. Sorry, I'm really unprepared today. I can't find my sweater right now, but when you're knitting stripes with different colors, often at the beginning of the round, you'll have a little jog in your knitting. And what that means is the colors don't line up perfectly at the stripe. It'll be a little bit off from each other. And this is something that I just never knew how to fix. And I looked it up when I got this question. And so I'll share with you what I found out. And I'm happy to link the video that I watched as well. And I will definitely use this on my next attempt at stripes. So what this video suggested was when you're, so let's say you're moving into your next stripe. Let's say you have white for the first color and blue for the next. What you'll do is you'll knit the first round exactly as you normally would. You're gonna knit it all in blue. And then when you get to the second round, that first stitch, you're gonna just slip it and then continue on. And somehow slipping that stitch, it changes the length of the stitch. And so then therefore it allows the line to line up a little bit more for some reason. So I'm gonna link that video below for you, and I'm definitely gonna try it myself. It looks like it really works very well. So again, you just knit the first row of the new color as you normally would, and then the second row, you're gonna just slip the first stitch and continue on, and then the next round, you just continue knitting that first stitch. And something about that, a long slipped stitch, just helps it be a little more even. So yeah, so that's something I wanna try out myself, and I'll link it and you can check it out. Hopefully it helps you as well. And now I feel kind of silly that I hadn't looked it up for my sweaters because they all have that little jog, but that's okay. You learn something new every day. There's so much to learn with knitting. That's what I love about it. There's really just endless things to learn. So thank you for asking the question and for teaching me something new. And I hope it's all helpful to you. Okay, so I think I have one more. question. Do I? Hold on. Oh, that's it. That's all for my questions today. Sorry, my notes are a little messy too. I'm like kind of today, sorry. Okay, so what I did want to talk about before I left is my latest design that I'm releasing it today. Today's Tuesday. I think the podcast this will come out tomorrow. But my latest design to come out is called Beach Life. And it's a cotton sweater. It's oversized and boxy. It's just super cozy. I wanted something where, I live near the beach on Cape Cod, and often, we'll go to the beach off season kind of. Sometimes it's like more off season than during the rush of like summer when everybody's here, but we go a lot in the summer too. But, as it gets a little cooler or just on days that aren't super nice out, it's New England, so it can be kind of chilly on the beach. Or if you go in the evening for a walk or something, and I wanted something like cozy to wear, and something that was just like fresh and light and felt like the beach, but also was like kind of cozy and like a hug, like a layer of a hug to put on. And so I found this is a cotton yarn from Valley Yarns. And yeah, so I just it's a very boxy, loose fitting, oversized. I probably made mine like a little too oversized. If I was gonna do it again, I might do it a little smaller. But it's just got this really simple, these stripes that run up the front and separate for the neckline. They run all the way up. You can see it's reverse stockinette for the body. And then the stripes kind of pop out as knit stitches. The sleeves are super cozy as well. They have this long ribbing on the end, and they're just loose and cozy. It's really just kind of like a layering cozy piece to wrap up in on like a windy beach day. Some of the details, it is knit flat. The side seam has this uneven split hem, which I always love a split hem, and I love when it's uneven. There's something like kind of fun about the back being longer. You just seam the sides, which is super easy, and then the shoulders are seamed as well. And I always find that seaming garments gives it more structure, especially something like cotton where it can get like stretched out more. Normally I would never like dry a garment in the dryer or like wash it, but with cotton I actually do throw it in the laundry and wash it because I find it kind of shrinks it back down a little bit because it can get really stretched out, which is why I would have probably knit a smaller one. But it just like adds to the cozy factor if it's oversized, so that's fine. Yeah, so the pieces are worked separate. One thing that I thought was kind of fun that I liked is I didn't want to do a whole neckline on the back. I didn't want to be adding stuff on with cotton. It can get kind of bulky and awkward. So instead of just ending it, if you end it with just stockinette stitch, it's going to curl or do something kind of weird on the neck. And I didn't want that. So on the top, I just did some garter rows, and that allows it to lay flat. And it also kind of looks kind of cute if you were to like put it up on a hanger. You can see like that last little section there with the garter. It just gives it like a nice little touch, I feel like. Yeah, so this is perfect for like throwing over your bathing suit. If you're going for a walk on the beach, you just want to be cozy. On the beaches here, you can do bonfires at night on some of them, and that's one thing we haven't done this year, but we are hoping to before summer ends. So like that's definitely something I would bring to like a bonfire on the beach and just coziness. So I hope you enjoy the pattern. I will link that below as well. It will have just come out once this episode goes live. And behind me, you'll see it's actually 2 shawls kind of layered over my mannequin. And those are gonna be coming out next week. I think I'm also gonna hopefully be able to release one of my designs that I did for Taproot magazine that, let's see if I can find it in here. It is one that it's been released, I've been able to release it on my own for a while now, and I just haven't gotten around to it exactly. But this one is Wash Ashore Pullover. So that one I hope to release at the same time as these because the yarn, I did 2 versions for the shawl, and the DK weight version is dyed up by Rachel of On the Round Yarns, and that was the same for the sweater that was in Taproot. She dyed up that one. The fingering weight version is from Neighborhood Fiber Co. And so I wanted to show 2 different weights, the same pattern, just 2 different weights and 2 different kind of color schemes to give everyone an idea. And she does a great job dyeing as well. So yep, those shawls will be out next week, hopefully, and hopefully that one from Taproot as well. And I think I'm gonna do like a really special sale for it. So if you're not signed up for my email newsletter, make sure you follow that link below and that you sign up so you don't miss out on that. It's gonna be like a really special sale, not a normal one. So check that out. And yeah, I guess that's it for today. The sweater that I'm wearing here is one of my favorites right now. It's knit up in Barrett Yarn Co.'s Home Worsted, which is like, I showed it to you in one of the other episodes, my favorite right now. And this color is like my all-time favorite color. Like light teals and like turquoises, that's just my favorite. And this is Earth Folk. And this uses twisted stitches. Twisted stitches are really just a 1/1 cable moving in different directions, but there's a little bit more to it. This uses kind of skills that I learned from Nora Gaughan's Twisted Stitch source book, and I actually got to take a class with her at Vogue Knitting. I think it was 2019, and she's wonderful. She's like my knitwear design idol, and just really look up to her. She does amazing stuff. So that book is really great if you really like twisted stitches and this looks interesting to you. Again, it's Earth Folk. I have a few other twisted stitch patterns. I'm trying to have my twisted stitch ones have the word folk in them so that they're easier to find all together. So whenever you see something with folk in it, it's gonna be twisted stitches, and I have a few more coming down the line as well. But yeah, check out Nora's book as well, it's great. And I guess that's it today. Thanks for hanging in there. Sorry about the dog craziness that happened today, but that's life, right? Yeah, so thank you for tuning in, and check back next week, and feel free to submit your questions below or use the form if it works for you. And have a great week. Bye.